I didn't take as many chances as I wished to, or I didn't approach someone that I liked, or a woman that I liked. I lacked confidence because I thought I wasn't attractive enough. That was more in my head.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking with Rogelio, who is over in Queens, New York, having a good time. How you doing today, man?
Another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise, that's right. So Rogelio is going to share his story with you guys today. He's got an interesting journey that some of you may have experienced, probably most of us have not. Rogelio, why don't you take us back all the way to the start, man, of your journey with hair loss?
Let's see. Both my grandparents, they were not completely bald, but they had receding hairlines and they were thin. So I knew that was going to happen to me. So I knew that.
You saw it coming.
I couldn't escape from it. So I tried to find answers for it. I went on the minoxidil. I did go visit a dermatologist. I did try to be on Propecia, and it just wasn't for me. I did try to keep as much of my own hair as I could. It didn't happen.
Yeah. Now, did Rogaine and Propecia, did they not work, or did you get side effects from them, or what happened?
No, they did work partially, but it just kept falling. My hair just kept falling on my crown, my hairline specifically. Yeah, man. I just wanted to find an answer, but just genetic.
Yeah, unfortunately, genetics seems to rule us all. So, you had this experience with Rogaine and Propecia, didn't exactly work for you. What was your next step in your kind of fight against hair loss?
Yeah, so when I was in my 20s, this is before smartphones, and then one of my friends took a picture of me, and I saw my hairline receding all the way to back here. I was like, damn. So I decided to do an Fue surgery. Here in New York. I looked up other places. You can go overseas and it would be cheaper. I just didn't have the time and money at that time. I was young. I was in my early 20s, and it was a lot of money. But I saved up for it for a couple of years, and I decided to do it, and I did it. And I had 1,800 grafts the first time. And then second, I had 1,400 grafts.
Oh, so you've done a FUE twice?
Twice, yeah. Luckily, I got good doctors because I don't have any scars in the back of my scalp. But you can see little dots sometimes when the sun is out. When my hair is very, very short, you can see it, but it's very minimal. Locally.
And for everyone who's watching, FUE is a follicular unit extraction, right? This is where they actually, it almost is like a reverse tattoo gun. Like they extract the individual follicles instead of cutting a strip, which is the old way to do it, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Got it. So you had about 3,000 grafts, more than that, maybe closer to 3,300.
Yeah.
And how did that happen, or how was that for you?
Yeah, I got the first one. So I waited a year so you can see like 80% results before you can decide if you want to do a second one or not. I did decide to do a second one, and I did it. So I waited an extra year to see the results, and I wasn't happy. And eventually, that transplant, both of them, my hairline started to fall again, and I got super depressed, very depressed about it. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of money. Yeah, man, it was difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine, because getting a FUE surgery in the United States especially is not a cheap endeavor, and you had two of them. So I imagine, that was a significant chunk of change that you invested in trying to get this right for yourself, and to feel like it didn't go the way that you wanted. So I imagine that was a pretty emotional experience.
Yeah, the money, monetarily speaking, of course it hurts, but it's just like I wish doctors would be more honest and be on your side more than taking your money, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't happen.
Unfortunately not, right? That's why we got to get good doctors that we can trust and that can give us an honest recommendation, not what's most advantageous to them in their pockets. So you got 2 procedures, didn't turn out the way that you wanted. How long ago was this?
The first one, I turned 30 years. I'm 34 now, so that was 4 years ago. And then the second one, a year after, so it was... what it was, 2016, I think. So, and then I used the fibers, so you can cover some of the parts. I hated them, man. I hated them so much. It's so messy.
Why did you hate them?
It's so messy. It goes everywhere. You go to the bathroom, it gets everywhere. No, it's not cool. It doesn't hold very well. Once you're on the sun, you can see through. People notice. It's very uncomfortable.
And here you are. I mean, you obviously have hair now. It looks like, you know, you got some great hair going on. So is this a whole bunch of fibers you got in your hair, or what's the situation? Where are we at now?
No, it was one night in like the beginning of the year, on January, and then I find your channel and I saw how good you looked with your hair system, and I started doing some research. But here in New York, it's very, very, very expensive. Some of the hair salons are extremely expensive, and that messed me up a little bit because I wouldn't be able to afford it. They charge so much. It's insane how much they charge. When you can do it yourself, and eventually, as you progress with your channel, I started looking at how the guys would save money and would be able to accomplish what they were looking for on their hair journey, and that really inspired me. So I started looking for answers until I found a salon which they charge way less, and I think she was very professional and she helped me a lot. And I had my first system put on August, and I didn't know anything, so I really messed it up. So this is the second one.
Right.
This is the second one. I think some people in the beginning noticed that it was a hair system. I didn't care. I mean, you had to start somehow. And my experience with fibers, people knew already. So it was just that transition.
They already knew that you were, dealing with hair loss, and you were, trying to find a way to just a strategy, right? So it makes sense.
Yeah, and then, so this is the second one, and I think it looks fantastic.
I like it, man. So what are you wearing, just for the people that are watching this video? What type of unit is this?
I think it's French lace. That's what it's called.
Okay, French lace. Is it, what density it is?
No, I don't know density. No.
Perfect. Okay, that's fine. Well, looks great, I think. And I mean, I think the hairstyle is really, really nice. It's subtle, right? It's not extreme. It's not extravagant. It's just looks like you got a good head of hair on you. Oh, yeah. And I enjoy it, man. So you've had this now for almost 4, 5, 6 months. How have you progressed through that? Are you doing most of the work yourself now? The reinstalls, the maintenance, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I actually I'm doing everything myself now. So the maintenance, washing, everything, it's not as hard as you may think. You have to start, and it gets frustrating in the beginning because you just want to be gentle, you want to mess it up, but once you start doing it, it becomes easier.
100%. Yeah, I think one of the biggest roadblocks at the beginning is really people being afraid of messing up their hair system, that if they do something wrong, that it's going to be, the money's going to go down the toilet or something like that, when most of the things that you can do to your hair system to mess it up are really things that you can fix. Unless you cut off all the hair with like some scissors, that's not really fixable, but everything else is pretty much like you can fix. So it's cool to see that you've gone along this journey. Have you had any problems in specific that have stood out to you that have been tough to deal with? With
my system? Yeah. I'm trying to find a solution because it tends to lose its color. So I'm just wondering if you can dye the color. My hair on the side is very dark, and this is starting to turn brown. So
Right. Have you used any color depositing shampoo or conditioner yet?
no.
Well, so that's a great first step because what they're designed to do is on colored hair systems, or even people that color their hair, color depositing conditioners, they deposit some of the natural color back into it. So you can prevent that color change if you take care of it a little bit more. But being that your hair is so dark, it should be relatively easy for you to dye both your hair and the hair system to kind of get a good matchup, which is something that may dry out the hair a little bit more, but it's something that you can get away with, and it's easier if you're going darker, like you probably would be going. So something that you may want to look into.
Yeah, definitely. I had to do a lot of research, but I'm happy that I did the first step.
Heck yeah, man. Well, that's great. So, you've had this on for about 4 or 5 months. How have you felt, psychologically? Like, what you've got gray hair. I'm assuming that you're happy with your hair now, as opposed to when you had, your surgeries, your hair transplant. How have you been psychologically? Have you noticed a difference? How do people treat you? All that stuff.
Like the first day when I did the first system, it was difficult psychologically. You see yourself, you don't recognize yourself, and you're like, And for me, it was difficult. My girlfriend at the time, she was very supportive. She really tried to cheer me on, and I was very thankful for that. And once you had to do the maintenance and take it off, and you see yourself in the mirror, it's difficult, But you get used to it. You get used to it. Yeah.
So the first time that you took off your hair system, it was tough. It felt like the image, the identity that you now have almost fell apart.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it's difficult to describe. I guess everybody has a different experience. But for me, I guess one of my biggest fears was people are going to notice. But eventually that went away, and I was like, I don't care anymore. As long as I'm happy, that's it.
Yeah, and that's so key, man. I think striving for happiness in our life, no matter whether it's hair systems or it's changing jobs or changing relationships, the striving to be happy in life and making those choices for ourselves, I think, is so, so important, and not letting what other people think dictate our decisions is a really valuable lesson, and one we all need to learn to develop into the best men that we can be.
Oh yeah, I guess one of the biggest things that I took from my hair journey was you had to develop other aspects in your life, your personality, your confidence, I don't know, just different things in your life that brings you happiness. And once you accomplish your hair journey or what you were looking for, you see that other thing, that this didn't matter as much. Of course, you see yourself in the mirror and you're happy, but if you have an ugly personality, then that affects your life a lot more. So I'm happy that I also worked on other aspects in my life, and that everything is falling into pieces. They're falling together. So yeah. I think my relationship with my friends and my family, they're better because I feel better, and they feel my energy, and they feel of that energy, and I think it's a beautiful thing. If you feel confident and you're happy, and you feel like you're accomplishing things, it brings you happiness, and you can share that with people.
Yeah, and I think that's the number one thing, right? Is that we, whether it's doing the work internally to be a better person or fixing hair loss, if we feel better, we start acting closer to our best that we possibly can. Other people feel that, the world feels that around us, and we start getting better results. But if anybody doesn't have, for whatever reason, they can't get a hair system, let's say they don't have the money right now, or they're not ready to, you can still do that work preemptively of improving yourself, your personality, your relationships, your professional skills, all that stuff. That stuff is so important, and you can do it after, but you can also do it before. And I would say, the hair system or taking care of hair loss can be a great icing on the cake at the end, to kind of, package everything up nicely and say like, wow, okay, I feel a lot better about myself. But everyone has their own journey with that. Some people that I've talked with, they do the hair system kind of at the beginning, and they walk through the personal development journey after. Some people do the personal development journey before, do the hair after. And both are journeys that can end up at the same result, as long as we are always trying to get better and be better men.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rogelio, for sitting down, telling us your story and some of your wisdom. Is there any final words or thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience before we sign off here?
Don't be afraid. A lot of people. I had a conversation with my hairstylist. One of the guys that had a system installed, he went home and he freaked out and he took it off. Mostly because what people would say. But just don't worry about it. Just do it, and don't worry about what people would say. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. And develop other aspects in your life, like personally, professionally. That's gonna help you a lot. But having a hair system as well, it's gonna help you a lot with that as well. Like I said, it's gonna bring a lot of happiness to your life. There's a lot to talk about, but it's a lot to take, and I wish I could have more time to express. But if anybody needs help here in New York and want to talk the story, I'm here. We had to help each other, and thank you for doing what you're doing. It really helped me, and I'm sure it helped a lot of other guys. And it's amazing what you're doing, and I'm very happy. I'm very thankful that you did it. It takes a lot of courage. Like right now, I'm shaking because I've never been in an interview like this.
Well, I think the wonderful thing about this is that when one person is courageous, it inspires more people to be courageous. And something told me to be courageous at the beginning and just share this story with people. And the thing that I'm really excited about is a lot of men's lives are changing now because of this content, but also most of it's changing because of people like yourself who are coming on, doing interviews, sharing their story, showing the world that it's not just me talking behind a camera, but there's hundreds, thousands of other men out there that are going through the same thing, and that are living amazing lives, taking care of this hair loss issue that's plagued them for a while. So thank you, but also thank you for being here with us today, sharing your story and being equally as courageous. I know that everyone in the comments, please, say thank you for Rogelio to share his story and to be an amazing man who also just happens to be incredibly good looking. But thank you once again, Rogelio. Everybody else that's watching at home, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell below to stay notified. That way we can help destigmatize hair loss even more, and we will see you all soon.